Are you feeling super stressed and overwhelmed by all the clutter in your home? Well, you're definitely not alone. And today I am talking about simple ways that you can declutter your entire home, going room by room. First, I kind of just want to discuss the topic of decluttering. I feel like there's such a negative connotation around it where people feel almost pressured and stressed when we mention declutter because we associate declutter with getting rid of things and we've spent money on things, and there's a lot of guilt and shame and remorse towards these things that are populating our home. And even though they're not serving us anymore, there's just this awkward emotion that we get towards our possessions. I would say I became extremely passionate about decluttering when we sold our house prior to the one that we're in now, and we moved in with my mom for 18 months. We were building our new house. I was kind of forced to declutter a lot of stuff. We left a 900 square foot house, so we definitely were upgrading as far as space, as far as decor, even clothing styles. I knew moving into a new beautiful home I was not gonna like anymore. I took the time and I was very intentional about letting go of things once we were in this bigger space, the newer space that I would no longer like. So that's really where my decluttering journey began. Slowly over the years, I have decluttered probably 75, maybe more percent of our possessions. I'm just gonna kind of chat about the simple ways that I have decluttered, the way I continue to declutter to maintain a decluttered space, because a lot of it is people forget decluttering isn't a one and done. It's a constant state of one item in, one item out, so that your house isn't in a state of overwhelming clutter. Just by decluttering unnecessary items from our home, it really relieves stress and anxiety. I can't remember if I was reading an article or if I saw someone that was explaining that they had been wearing an Aura ring and it was tracking their stress. And it was really interesting because when they were decluttering, they assumed that their stress levels would be higher because there's this kind of little bit of panic or nervousness when it comes to decluttering and getting rid of your things. But ironically, this person noticed that their stress or cortisol levels were much lower in this decluttering, which I thought was so fascinating. And I can completely agree with this, or completely relate to this, because once I started avidly decluttering and just really being serious about getting rid of the stuff no longer serving me or my family, my house, my brain, everything functions so much better. Also, when we own less stuff, it's less to manage, it's less to clean. Before you even start decluttering, I highly recommend that you have some sort of a plan or a list going. This is really going to help keep you organized and stay focused, especially if you're someone that walks into a room that's very cluttered and you instantly feel overwhelmed and you don't know where to start, so you turn around and leave the room and it never gets done. Having a plan in place is going to make your life so much easier. I would encourage you to set a time limit on your declutter. I did a whole 7-day declutter challenge where I only gave myself 1 hour a day. That was highly effective. If you are interested at all in that 7-day declutter, I will link the playlist below. I highly recommend you watch it. It's more of a real time where I'm going room by room and you kind of watch me declutter, but it was very satisfying. I'm a person that has been decluttering for years and I was still able to let go of so many items. It was very satisfying. When you're making a plan or a list, I would prioritize what is the most important area or room in your home to declutter. Which one is stressing you out the most? And I would prioritize everything else from there that you want to get done on this list. This isn't something that's going to get done in a day, a week, a month. I mean, this could take a little while, especially if you don't have much time to spare. But give yourself some grace and really take the time to get a plan in place first. Once you've established what room you want to start with, then we're going to break it down into zones within the room. So say, for example, you want to declutter your kitchen. It's the most used room in your home and it's where you feel a lot of stress. Instead of saying, I'm going to declutter my entire kitchen this weekend, break it down to tomorrow, I am giving myself 1 hour to completely clear out the fridge and freezer. Or I'm giving myself a half an hour to declutter my pantry. And it might not be a complete overhaul or reorganization of the pantry, but maybe it's just getting rid of expired goods. Just focus on a little bit more small task. So for example, one day you could start with a lazy Susan where things kind of get shoved in the back of the corner and that's been really stressing you out. Maybe you just do one shelf within that cabinet. And once that's decluttered, if you have enough time, you could move on to the next one. Once you have decided on the area of the room that you want to start decluttering, I think the easiest way to stay on task and not to get distracted and overwhelmed, do a wave first from either top to bottom or bottom to top, where you are just getting rid of the garbage first. So any empty boxes, expired food, just quickly scanning the shelves and getting rid of the garbage first. Then the second phase of scanning the area is going to be anything that doesn't belong there. If you have utensils that ended up in there or things that got tucked away in there on accident, those items get out of the space. The next wave of decluttering is going to be going through shelf by shelf, just scanning every single item, seeing if it is something that you like, continue that process shelf by shelf. If you moved on to your utensil drawer, because it's just overflowing with utensils, you're starting on one side of the drawer and just quickly scanning it and looking at the obvious things that you want to get rid of, whether that's duplicates, ones that are in poor condition, things that a family member had left at your house or you borrowed, whatever the case may be. Just those quick, easy decisions to get out of the drawer. Do we need 13 forks? Maybe we could scale it down to 10 or 8, continuing that process from right to left or left to right, whatever makes more sense for you. Just being very ruthless, thinking quickly. I have 10 spatulas, but I tend to only gravitate towards 1 or 2. Do I really need all of these? Can I part with any of them? Really be truthful on what you're actually using. You'll be so surprised, especially in the kitchen. We have a lot of kitchen gadgets and utensils and these things that somehow we accumulate a lot of them, but we never actually use all of them. We tend to gravitate towards those tried and true pieces, and the rest just gets neglected and collects dust. Even if we do use them, we're circulating a much larger volume of utensils, so then our dishes tend to pile up more and it's more for us to manage. So really try to be intentional and scale back. Moving on to decluttering a space such as a bedroom. We want our bedroom to be kind of a sanctuary or a retreat at the end of the day. Try to declutter your bedroom with that in mind. You want to scan the room again and get rid of any obvious things that don't belong there or that you don't like or don't need. If you have an older chair in the corner and it just collects dust, or it tends to be a place where you throw laundry, things like that, I would just get rid of an item like that. Same with treadmills. They tend to be dust collectors. Unless you're actually using it, part ways with those items that are taking up valuable real estate in your home and adding stress to your life without you even realizing it. That visual clutter, especially if we're not using it, it's like that constant reminder of money that we've spent on things. If it's a treadmill, we're constantly reminded that, we should be exercising more. So you have that guilt associated with that. Clothes that you've bought, spent tons of money on, but you tend to wear the same 3 pieces in your closet. The list is endless, truly. Be intentional and very mindful when you're decluttering. It's okay to let go of things that you've spent money on or that were gifted to you. If it's not serving you in your home or if it's adding stress to your life, it's good to just part with those items. As far as closets go, I would, again, scan the closet left to right. When you're asking yourself, I wouldn't say ask yourself, oh, do I love this item? Sometimes there's situational things. If you have a dressier piece of clothing that is more for like occasion, it's kind of hard to part ways with those items. If you have 15 sets of athleisure clothes, you only wear 2 or 3, just kind of filter through those and part with the ones that are just sitting in your drawer. Or what I would do if you are not wanting to get rid of them, circulate them to the front of your drawers and then encourage yourself to wear the ones that you normally don't wear, and then see from there if those continue to be ones that you don't reach for, then I would feel confident parting ways with those. If you live in a climate where you have a season change. I live in Minnesota, so we get 4 seasons here. I notice that in my closet, if I'm trying to store my big chunky sweaters and my thermal gear for in the winter time, my closet can get really cluttered really quickly. If you have those seasonal items, whether it's Christmas theme or Halloween theme or winter gear in general, try storing those in a separate area. Even areas like under your bed, they have roll under the bed storage where you can store winter sweaters or boots if you're limited on storage. In our closet, we have a lot of vertical height. I am just storing some of those seasonal items in wicker baskets at the top of my closet. And then as the season changes, I just rotate the summer stuff out and then the winter and fall stuff into my wardrobe. And that is a nice way to keep my closet kind of more manageable during each season without having to actually part ways with those clothing items. Another trick for decluttering your closet, because I feel like that's an area that quickly gets over cluttered very quickly, is to keep a basket or a box in your closet, or as you wear things, you're constantly assessing if it's going to continue to stay in your closet or you're going to part ways with it. If you try on a shirt or a pair of jeans and it just doesn't fit you anymore, there's no need to hold on to that item. Also, another little closet hack, any hanging items, turn all the hangers backwards. Each time you wear an item and place it back into the closet, you place it back the right way. So then at the end of the year or every 6 months, you can assess those items that you haven't worn in the last 6 months to a year. And then at that point, you can determine if those are items that you still will not wear or if you're ready to part ways with those. Bathrooms are another area that clutter can accumulate quickly, just because it tends to be an area where we keep a lot of products and medicines and things like that. And if you have more than one person in your household, you have other people's products and bottles, and it just can accumulate a lot of stuff very quickly. And you're just going to go through each area of the vanity and you're getting rid of any garbage, any items that don't belong there, any things that are broken or in poor condition, anything that's expired. If you store your medicines or supplements in your bathroom, now is the time to go through every single bottle and see if anything is expired and try to minimize it to just the essentials that you use from a day-to-day basis. If you are a visual person and you store a lot of your products out on the top of the vanity, I highly recommend scaling back on those items. Really ask yourself if those are items that you use every single day. If not, I would tuck those other items away. While I do have some of my makeup brushes and things on display, a lot of the stuff I found I was leaving out every day after I would get ready, and it just left my vanity cluttered and chaos. So what I started doing is containing all of my get ready things that I use every single day when it comes to makeup and face care into a little bin, and I pull it out of the drawer and I use what I'm going to use, and as I'm done using it, I put it right back in the container, and that container goes back in the drawer. It's a good way to keep all of my stuff contained, but it's my everyday items, so it's easy enough for me to quickly take it out and put it back without leaving a bunch of mess behind me. I tend to be a little bit more minimal when it comes to what I like on display, and I try to keep it cohesive with my design style. So those more aesthetic and functional pieces. If you are a more visual person where you need to have your products on the countertop, try containing them in some sort of a tray or on a rotating caddy or something that kind of corrals all those items together and keeps them neat and tidy. When it comes to maintaining a decluttered, organized home, organization is key. So using the correct storage solutions for your personality and your needs is crucial. I would not go out and buy a bunch of baskets or bins before A, you have decluttered, and B, you have assessed the space that you need to contain these items. It's kind of a double-edged sword when you feel like you want to get organized and you go out and buy all this beautiful organization baskets and bins, and then you get home, nothing fits, and you don't have a plan in place, and then all those things go to waste. Take your time, assess the spaces that you need organization containers for, bins, baskets, whatever it may be. I would measure the depth of your drawers, underneath cabinets, whatever you're gonna need baskets or bins or containers for. I have a tiny little little measuring tape that I bring with me if I am to do some shopping when it comes to organization baskets, because I've learned the hard way that I go out and I splurge on a ton of drawer dividers and things like that, get them home, and they're either too tall or too deep for the space that I had intended them for, and I either have to return them or find them different home for them within my home. And when it comes to actually organizing your home, you're gonna wanna categorize your home. Things like electronics, whether it's cables, chargers, try to contain those items in a common area so that you or a family member know exactly where to go in your home if they're looking for any kind of cord, headphones, things like that. I used to be really into labeling everything. I still do label some things that are necessary. If you are a visual person, I find this really effective because especially if you are storing things in a solid bin or basket, it's up high. Sometimes it's easy to forget what is contained inside those baskets. So getting cute little labels or stickers or cards, whatever you need to label the basket so you know what's contained inside is very helpful. Paperwork and things like that can really accumulate in our homes. What I like to do is every day that we get the mail, I just quickly go through it, determine what is getting shredded, what's getting recycled. I deal with it right then and there as far as where it's going to go in my home. And then I have one designated area for all of our paperwork to go once it's in our home. On Fridays, which is what I do, like my admit day, I go through all the paperwork in that basket, pay any bills, shred and get rid of anything that's left behind. So it's this constant cycle of dealing with the paperwork immediately, and then I have a designated day to take care of that. But it's really effective for my entire family because if anybody is looking for a piece of mail that might have went missing or a letter that we got from the school, anything like that, this is like a main area in our home where everybody knows to look for any kind of paper item. So now you have your house decluttered. You've went through each room in your home and you feel like you have a good grasp on what you've decluttered and you feel motivated and happy. The key to keeping a tidy, organized, decluttered home is to declutter often. Every single day as I'm cleaning a space or going through a space, I'm constantly thinking, am I keeping this? Am I getting rid of this? Is this donation? Does this belong to somebody else? You know, things like that. Our house is in a constant state of things coming in and things leaving. So anytime you're shopping going forward, if you are bringing something into your house, it really should be replacing something. If you're gonna buy something new, what are you getting rid of in turn? Think the one in, one out rule. Along with decluttering, organization and decluttering kind of go hand in hand. While you'll initially do a little bit of an organization as you're decluttering, pay attention to how you use each space. If you initially decided to tuck your cords into a little box and then put the box up in the cabinet, out of sight, out of mind, at first was great, but then you realized that that's a basket or a box your family reaches for every single day, multiple times a day, it's probably not going to be very practical being so out of sight, out of mind. For example, in our home, any of our corded electronic stuff, we have an area in our island where I designate just to corded electronics. And that seems to work really well for our family. We're able to easily kind of do a tidy around the house and tuck all those cords away. It's in a common area for everyone to find what they're looking for. Sometimes decluttering, we can feel like, oh, this drawer now feels empty. Or maybe you've decluttered to the point where you actually have a drawer that has nothing in it. That's fine. It's good to get comfortable with having extra space within drawers and cabinets. It's really good for our brain to not feel like everything is packed in like sardines. And it gives us room to grow if in the event that we do need to add to our collection of something, we have the room to where we're not just kind of stuffing things into cabinets. All right. I hope you found some takeaways from today's video and are motivated to start your decluttering process. Thanks so much for watching. I will see you in the next one.